basics of accounting. Okay, so before understanding what is accounting, let's first imagine that you have a business. Okay, you have started a business of a nursery, that is gardening. Okay, so Mr. Mohan has given you a loan of rupees 10,000. Then understand it step by step. Okay, it will be fun learning the accounts. Then what you do, you open a bank account. Okay, so no initial deposits are required. You just have to open a bank account, sign some forms, and that's it. Okay, the next day you deposit rupees 5,000 in your bank account. Then you plan to purchase some gardening equipments for rupees 2,000. Okay, then next day you think that let's give advertisement in the newspaper, and it costs you rupees 200. Okay, then there is one friend, Mr. Anuj. So he knows gardening work. So what you do is you employ him on a contract basis, and then he says as and when required I'll come, and then I'll charge you rupees 100 per hour. Okay, then you receive an order call from your customer, and then you provide him a quotation, okay, of rupees 5,000. Then after 2-3 days that customer Nitin, he confirms, and then he places the order, and he also gives you 2,000 as advance. Then you purchase some plants and seeds for your planting for your gardening work, and that costs you around 1,000 rupees. Then your friend Mr. Anuj, he works for 8 hours, and accordingly you pay him 800, that is 8 into 100 rupees. Then customer Nitin makes a balance payment of 3,000. Okay, and then you make a partial repayment of loan. You had taken a loan from Mr. Mohan, so you make a partial repayment of loan of rupees 6,000. So imagine these are the transactions for a particular month which has happened in your business. Okay, okay, keep this in mind, and then we'll move forward as to what is accounting, and how to identify a transaction and everything. Okay, so now what is accounting? Okay, accounting is identifying, measuring, recording, classifying, and finally summarizing and interpreting a financial transaction. Okay, we'll look it one by one. It is identifying, measuring, then we have recording, classifying, and finally you have summarizing and interpretation of what? Of a financial transaction. Okay, so what you do is first you identify whether a transaction is a financial transaction. Then measuring is you identify what is the amount which is involved in that. Okay, recording is nothing but you record it. Okay, you record it somewhere, like the way you record, for example, even in the small cases like you get a pocket money, or then you give something to someone, you have a mental record, that you have so much pocket money, so you have spent so and so money on this, that, and everything. So that's a recording. Then classifying. What is classifying? It's identifying and categorizing a financial transaction into different groups. Then finally you have to summarize and interpret. And once you interpret, you get to know that what is the status of your business, what is the position of your business, how is your business progressing, and so on and so forth. Okay, So let's understand what is a process of accounting. Okay, process accounting. The first step of accounting is journal entries. Journal entries is a basic step of accounting wherein you record a particular transaction. Okay, the details of that particular transactions are recorded in the journal entries. Then you have ledger accounts. Okay, so once you post the journal entries or pass a journal entry, you need to give an effect of that particular entry in ledger account. Okay, for example, you may be having a mental record, like say if you have a pocket money of rupees 100, if you receive a pocket money of rupees 100, and if you have given your friend rupees 50, then mentally you have a track that 50 rupees is given to Mr. A, and I need to receive rupees 50 from him. That's nothing but that shows what is a status or what is a summary of that particular person. Okay, financial summary, that is nothing but a ledger account. So ledger account will give you a financial summary or a status of a particular person or a particular asset or a particular um, you can say liability, loan, etc. Okay, uh, there is one more example of ledger account. You must have gone through a passbook of a bank. If you have a bank account, then what does a passbook show? Passbook will show the amount withdrawn, amount deposited in the bank account, then it will have a different types of bank charges, then it will show interest which is given by the bank, and finally it will show a balance. That is nothing but a type of ledger account. Okay, then next is trial balance. Trial balance is nothing but whatever is the balance of ledger account for a particular period, it is been taken and it has been stated in the trial balance. And with the help of trial balance, this is a summary of all ledger account in short. Okay, with the help of trial balance, you prepare balance sheet and profit and loss account. Okay, also known as financial statements. Okay, you must have seen this financial statements if you would have been receiving some reports of some companies. Okay, annual report of the company, just open it and see it, you will find balance sheet and profit and loss account. Okay. So now today we will be concentrating on the journal entries. This is a basic accounting which you need to learn. Okay, this is the first step of accounting which you will be learning. But before that, let us understand what is a financial transaction. Okay, so financial transactions. Financial transactions are the events, okay, events or the activities which involves give and take or a commitment or agreement to give and take money, goods, services or asset either in present or in future. Okay, so but we record financial transactions only when there is an obligation to give and take some money, goods, services or assets. Okay, so give and take obligation to give and take either money or goods or services or assets. Assets is nothing but those are the goods which are used for the purpose of the business. Okay, those are known as assets. Now we will first identify what are the financial transactions and what are the non-financial transactions. So let's go back to our example. Okay, imagine you have started a business of nursery. First transaction, Mr. Mohan has given you a loan of rupees 10,000. So you can see here that Mr. Mohan has given you a loan. That means there is a give and take of money, right? You are receiving the money. How much you are receiving? You are receiving 10,000. So do you need to record this for your financial for your journal entry as a financial transaction? Yes. So this is a financial transaction. Okay. Then the next is opening a bank account and no initial deposit is required. So you open a bank account, there is no initial deposit required. You just have to sign some forms and complete all the formalities. So is there any give and take of money involved in this? No. So is there any give and take of goods? No. Asset? No. So this is not a financial transaction. Okay. Third is deposit of 5,000 in bank account. Now you had a cash, you deposited it in the bank. So is there a give and take of money? Yes. So it's a financial transaction. Fourth, purchase of garden equipments for rupees 2,000. Now remember, this garden equipments you won't be selling it to the customer, right? You are using it for the purpose of business. So it's a asset. So you are purchasing an asset. So there is a give and take of asset or goods. For either it can be for a cash or you may pay that person in the future, but there is an obligation to pay, right? So it's a financial transaction. Next is you give an advertisement in a newspaper for rupees 200. Again, there are some services which are provided by newspaper for rupees 200. So there is a give and take of services for which you need to pay, and so it's known as a financial transaction. Okay. Employing Mr. Anuj for gardening work on contract basis at rupees 100 per hour as and when required. So as of now you have just employed him. Okay. There is a contract which has been signed. So if it doesn't work, there is no obligation for you to pay, right? There is no fixed salary which you need to pay. So there is no obligation. So it's not a financial transaction. Okay. Then receiving an order from customer Nitin. Okay, you receive an order and you provide him the quotation of rupees 5,000. Now see here, you provide a quotation, right? So as of now the customer has not confirmed the order. You have just provided him the quotation. So it is not a financial transaction, right? So there won't be any journal entry for it. Customer Nitin confirms and places order. He also gives rupees 2,000 as advance. Okay. Here he confirms the order. Okay, and he gives rupees 2,000 as an advance in check. So there is a give and take of cash. okay, for the services which you will be offering him in the future. Okay, so there is a obligation, so it's a financial transaction. Purchase of plants and seed in cash for planting in customer Nitin's garden worth rupees 100,000. So there is a purchase of plants and seed in cash. Okay. So this is for planting in customer Nitin's garden. So this you would be directly taking those plants and then you will be planting it in your customer garden. So this is goods. So again, this is a financial transaction. Since you have taken the goods and you have to pay cash, either you pay, it's given that it's in cash, okay, so you have to pay the cash, right? Mr. Anuj works for 8 hours and 800 is paid to him. Now as agreed, Mr. Anuj has worked for 8 hours and rupees 800 should be paid to him. Now again there has to be there is a financial obligation wherein you need to pay rupees 100 in the cash. Okay, so there is a give and take of money. Again the money is going out and so it's a financial transaction. You have received the services from him and you are paying him the money. Customer Nitin makes a balance payment in cash. Okay, again the customer Nitin, you have completed the contract and accordingly he is very happy and then he is paying you a balance payment in cash. So there is a give and take of money and services. So again it's a financial transaction. Partial repayment of loan to Mr. Mohan. So you are paying him rupees 6,000. Okay, so there is again a give and take of money. So it's a financial transaction. Okay. That's all for today. In next session we will be learning different types of accounts and various rules for passing the journal entry. Thank you.